And then lastly, oh no, it's gonna hail on me. Ah! It's hailing again. Ah! Dude, what is going on? It was supposed to be clear skies all day. Welcome to Downshift. My name is Matt, and this is the latest BMW X5. And you've seen the best and the rest and how it compares to the GLE, but today we're gonna show you every nook and cranny and what makes this thing so good. Let's get into it. Now what you're looking at is actually a 2025, so what's new for 2025? And the reality is, it's really kind of only one thing. You get a lane change assist now, which will allow the driver to confirm a lane change that the autopilot system has suggested. And you confirm that lane change by simply looking at the corresponding mirror. I mean, that is pretty cool. But if we're gonna start from the top, let's start from the top. Now, what is the X5? Well, the X5 is kind of the quintessential BMW SUV. I believe it's their most storied SUV nameplate. It's longest running. It's bigger than the X3, smaller than the X7, and probably the best SUV in this class all around. Maybe the Cayenne is a little bit better, but then you're paying Porsche money. But this thing is very good, is the moral of the story. It's very good, and it comes in a number of different flavors. We have the quote base car here, which is the xDrive 40i. That gets you the B58 inline-6 turbocharged 3-liter with a 48-volt system. We'll cover power and stuff a little bit later, but you can also get the Edrive50, which will be a plug-in hybrid, which uses the same motor that we get here, but also adds a battery hybrid component with 39 miles of fully electric range. That's pretty good. And last year, with the facelift, we tested the M60i, which gets the S68 4.4 twin-turbo V8 from the M division with also a 48-volt mild hybrid system. And then the king of the castle, the M competition, the X5 M competition, gets that same S68 with the 48-volt system, but all the power. So everything gets at least a little bit hybridized. That doesn't look good. Could get wet soon. But this is the volume seller, and like I said, the quote base engine. It's kind of funny to call this thing the base engine because the GLE uses a 4-cylinder as its base, but here you get the legendary B58 straight-six 3.0 turbo. You get 375 horsepower now, that's up 40 from the pre-LCI, and almost 394 pound-feet of torque. Now, like I mentioned before, this is now packing a 48-volt mild hybrid system. Last year in 2024 also packed that 48-volt system, but the moral of the story here is it's very powerful, it's very smooth, and historically, this engine has proved to be very reliable. But this is the ultimate driving machine, so let's talk about performance. Now, all that power from that B58 goes through the ZF 8-speed automatic transmission. It's pretty much in everything BMW makes now, minus the X1, X2, and I believe the 2 Series Grand Coupe. And of course, you do get xDrive for most of the cars that you're gonna see here in Wisconsin, but you can get an S-Drive rear-wheel drive as standard. It's gonna save you a little bit of money to go that way, but generally speaking, probably best to get all-wheel drive. Because when you do get all-wheel drive, you go 0 to 60 in like 4.5 seconds. Again, I will remind you, this is the base car. That is not base car 0 to 60 time. Part of that comes from these widely fat tires, but yeah, this thing is pretty quick, even for being the base. And it's not just fast, but it's also efficient. With that 48-volt system, now this thing is making about 25 mpg combined, and on the highway you can genuinely get pretty close to about 30 mpg in the real world. Again, this is a pretty big family SUV, mid-size SUV with all-wheel drive, almost 400 horsepower, almost 400 pound-feet of torque, and it's getting almost 30 mpg on the highway. That's pretty insane. Now, if you do want a little bit more efficiency, you can go to the plug-in hybrid, that Edrive50 or whatever it is, and that's going to get you about 39 miles of fully electric range, which is a big improvement on the pre-LCI version of the plug-in hybrid, so you'll love to see it. And then we're just going to talk styling because I really like the look of this thing. I think the GLE is also pretty handsome, but I really like the spec here. Now, up front, more specifically, you can pay a little extra money, get an illuminated grille. I might skip that. This has the shadow line, of course, the black on black on black spec, very popular. But yeah, you can get an illuminated grille for a little extra money. Your runners are a more simplified chevron pattern that we've seen in the X6, the new 4 Series, and a couple others. But look at this little cutout here. See where my finger's tracing? That is going to be black on your M Sport cars, no matter what color you get here. So if you've got a silver car, this lower portion is going to be black. I kind of like the subtlety that you get with the black on black. I don't know how I feel about this. I kind of like the pre-LCI, but generally it still looks pretty good. Functional aero around the front wheels. And speaking of the front wheels, we've got 20-inch wheels, and these are 1000% the wheels to get. They look great. You get a nice all-season tire, big red brakes, M logo on the center of the wheel, just looks really handsome. Of course, you get a front grille. Stepping back and looking at the profile, very classic SUV stuff. I love the X5 kind of hump you get on the rear door. That's pretty typical for this generation of car. But yeah, blacked out treatments for your windows, and then around the back, let's take a look at that back 3/4. It just looks nice. Now, one thing I will say, I don't know who the taillight designer is, but every taillight on an X5 and especially an X3 looks like a Halo energy sword. You will not convince me, and I will not unsee it, but it just looks generally pretty handsome. And real dual exhaust and a mild diffuser out back. And then I was really impressed with this. Now, depending on spec and how you option this thing out, you can get up to 7,200 pounds of towing capacity, and that is a huge number. When you consider something like a mid-size pickup truck is maxing out from GM, the Colorado or the Cayenne, at 7,700 pounds, this is only 500 pounds off, and this is a big unibody family SUV, a luxury product that's also fast and efficient. Let's check out the cargo area. Of course, as you would expect, power opening tailgate. You do get close and lock. You love to see it. But a classic X5 staple that you also love to see is the split folding gate. I do not know why I find this so satisfying, but I do. It's very, very good. Now, when you're looking at the actual space itself, I'm sorry about the wind if you can hear it, it's super windy today, but you get 34 cubic feet of space. Look at this. It's a huge, huge cargo area. You can't drop the rear seats from the trunk. I think that's a bit of a miss, but you do get grocery bag hangers here. Apparently if you lean against this thing, it's gonna close itself. But you get grocery bag hangers here, there's little outlets here and there. Also, one thing here, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. If you pull on this, you also have a little bit more storage down here, but you have a strut that holds up your trunk floor. I mean, that's kind of cool. When you do fold the rear seats though, you get about 72 cubic feet. And like I predicted, it's raining on me. So we're gonna get to the next scene. Let's see if it stops raining long enough for me to talk about the rear seats. Now, this one doesn't have a couple things, but you can get rear window shades. But look at this, the great cognac interior. Look at the detailing and the diamond quilting on the seats. Really, really nice leather. So much nicer than the Sensitech that I get in my car. But very nice, you've got the wood grain and lacquered up. You've got ambient lighting back here. Little M on your kick plate. The only thing that I will, I guess, ding the rear seat on is the fact that the GLE is going to be a little bit bigger. But here, look at this. I'm 6'1", still have a couple inches of knee room in front of me. This seat is actually artificially far back. That one's a little bit more where I would drive, and I have like 2, 3, 4 inches of knee room. And then in terms of headroom, perfectly fine. Even with my hat on, I'm not hitting my nub. Very, very good. You get down here, climate vents here. You can get quad climate zones, so a zone here and a zone here. You can also get heated rear seats. You cannot get heated or cooled rear seats, but you can get heated. And then of course you've got your activity mount with USB-C charging here, so if you want to install a little iPad holder or whatever, there's some storage, more charging down here, and overall it's a great back seat. And we'll check out the front seat. It only rains for like 10 seconds at a time, but it's enough to be annoying. But again, front seats, 2-level memory, same brilliant quilting, really nice leathers, 3-level heated, 3-level cooled. You also have multiple levels of heated steering wheel if you so option. You can also get massage seat. This one doesn't have it, but you can get massage seat. Very, very luxe. And I didn't mention it back there because it was closed, but you have a massive panoramic roof and it even vents right there. And then I just want to talk about the interior design as a whole. We talked about how nice the leathers are and everything, as you'd kind of expect, but generally speaking, it's just really nice in here. The alloys that you get even on your door handles, the emotion or ambient lighting accenting that you get on your passenger side of the dash. This will change colors and do stuff depending on, I don't know, different things that you do in the car. If you get a call, then it's going to flash, and it's also accented and engulfed in this lacquered wood grain, which continues down into your center console, and I just really, really like it. If you go for the executive package, these controls down here, your shifter, your iDrive wheel, those will become crystal or glass. But generally speaking, it's just a nice interior. It's a little bit dominated by screens, as you'd expect. You lose things like physical climate controls and things for heated seats, but it's always down on this ribbon at the bottom of the screen, so I think it's okay. I like the M Sport steering wheel, and just generally speaking, it's a nice open place to sit, and it's really comfortable, and it looks modern and luxurious too. And then talking of technology more specifically, you do have a head-up display. It's gonna be hard to see through the rain, but it is pretty robust. It shows you pretty much everything you could possibly wanna see, different things for your driving assist, your speed limit, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Totally digital instrument cluster, again, pretty customizable. We've covered this in a number of reviews, so I'll link a couple down in the description if you wanna check it out, or it'll be in the info card right about somewhere where my thumb is. But generally speaking, very good, nice. I like the graphics, very cool. Center screen, infotainment, iDrive 8. The only thing that I don't love about it is the fact that the climate controls are now reliant on the screen, but everything else is great. You see I can have multiple things on screen at once. Wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. Throw it into reverse. You've got 360 camera. You can also get like the augmented reality style view. So we'll go like this. You got gesture controls if you want to control the car. I never use these because I don't really like them. They never really work as I want them to, but it also has your reverse assist. So it'll drive itself backwards, however you came in. Just kind of cool. I always really like that. But if you go into live vehicle here, you do have your adaptive content. So it'll even show the angle of the wheel as I turn the steering wheel. I've got my reverse lights on, my brake lights show up. I'll throw it into drive. Now the reverse lights are gone. It shows, I mean, like, this is really unnecessary. It doesn't really do anything, but it's just kind of cool. Like, it's impressive the level of detail that they bring in here. So I'm just kind of a nerd for it. And then your interior lighting, go into your ambience. You've got different colors that you can choose from. Where's my favorite? Coral. This is my favorite one by far. Love coral. I hate that I don't have it in my M340, but I love that you can get it here on the newer BMW. It's just really cool. I love the ambient lighting. I love the fact that this really stands out at night, and you have like a load of stuff that it does. It like responds to calls and whatever. So it's just really cool. A lot of tech from this X5. But then in terms of your driver assist suite and everything, you can get the Drive Pilot Pro or whatever their upgraded system is called. And it's really, really robust. We tested this in the i7. It was really good. I mean, I drove for my whole commute, an hour to work and back. Just didn't even have to touch the steering wheel. Didn't have to touch the wheel at all while I was driving on the highway. And then this has a new feature now. It's continuing to rain, but it'll actually recommend a lane change to do an overtake or something, and you can confirm that recommendation from the car by looking at the corresponding mirror that it's recommending. So if it's recommending a right lane change, you look to that mirror and it'll confirm. It'll sense that you're looking there, it'll confirm, and it'll execute the maneuver. I mean, very cool, very futuristic stuff. All right, I'm gonna try to finish the odds and ends section before it starts hailing on me again. The first is, you see the dead pedal here? It's the exact same design as the puddle lights. Little cool thing. And then here, this one doesn't have it, of course, but you can get heated and cooled cup holders, and that is a genuine exclusive luxury feature. Pretty much everything Hyundai's started doing, so it's hard to call things luxury, but heated and cooled cup holders, that's still luxury. And if you go up to the M60 and the M Competition, you can get Air Ride, which gets you 48-volt sway bars. They disconnect and reconnect for a better, more controlled ride, and it'll even get you a rear steer module to make this thing feel even more aggressive. And you'll see we have the Harman Kardon speakers here on the base entry, but if you go up to the M60 and M Competition, you can get the Bowers & Wilkins. Can't get it on the base engine. I don't think you can get it on the plug-in hybrid, but you can get the Bowers if you go up to the M cars. And this was kind of random and funny, I thought, is you get 8.7 inches of ground clearance, which is 0.1 inches more than a Bronco Sport Badlands. So this thing could off-road, question mark? And if you go for the executive package, you can get soft closed doors, and all of your controls and stuff in here will be the crystals, which is cool. We're gonna go in Sport Plus. Oh, we're not gonna launch it because it's wet and this is a very new car and there's no point. But we're in Sport Plus. Let's just see. Quick kickdown. Takes itself to red line. Oh, fast. Fast, fast, fast. This is the base car. And I think that's really the thing that just shocks me. In the base car. I mean, 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds. 0 to 60 in like 4.5 seconds. This is proper quick. In something this size, to go that fast, to have 400 almost, or 375 horsepower. That's a big 40 horsepower bump from pre-LCI, almost 400 pound-feet of torque. And then to also get 25 mpg combined, close to 30 mpg on the highway, I am just baffled by how well-rounded this car is. And I'm really aware when I start to like gush about these cars, because you're very quickly on the internet accused of being like a BMW fanboy and everything, and it's worse because I now own a BMW. But the fact is, if the GLE was like this, I would gush just as hard. Like, this is just full stop freaking good. There's not anything, I mean, the steering's a little light and vague, but it's a family SUV and it's gonna be better in the M cars. It just doesn't miss. So yeah, call me a fanboy if you want, but I'm gonna be a fanboy until there's not a reason to be a fanboy, if that makes sense. You know, I have a brand new car that it doesn't matter. The fact is, it's fast, it's really efficient. This engine is now tried and true, pretty reliable, and it's comfortable. It does just a luxury SUV thing. It does the luxury SUV thing really, really well. Now I'm just cruising along. I've got great visibility out the front. The only thing I will complain about is the side mirrors. The wing mirrors feel a little bit small. They just look a little disproportionate to the rest of the car because the rest of the car is so big. But generally speaking, like, there's just not a foot wrong here. My seat is really comfortable. I can get heated, cooled, massage, whatever I want. I can get heated and cooled cup holders. The leather, I mean, it's really, really nice. Nice stitching. I love the color here. It's very rich. It's just good. It's quiet. It soaks up bumps. The air suspension is going to be a bit better, but here, even on the base, the steel springs, it's perfectly comfortable, really refined, very smooth. I think that's the biggest takeaway, is the 48-volt mild hybrid system. It does kind of smooth things out here and there. You can't totally tell. You can feel it a little bit as you pull away and when you start up the car, but generally speaking, it's kind of invisible. Turning radius, amazing. Smooth, easy gear change, decent sound, and then just quiet, just refined, just me and my thoughts now. Really impressed. I mean, better than a GLE, better than anything Audi's cooking up. I haven't been in the GV80 in a while, but yeah, I'm impressed. 2025 BMW X5, very good. So thank you to International BMW for letting me have a go. If you're interested to see more how this compares to the GLE, make sure you check out our Best in the Rest video on the channel now. But until then, I'll see you next time.